Hi again, it's your travel friend Tash at Leisure Explorer, and today we will be taking you on our adventures to Knysna and Plettenberg Bay, South Africa. We started off our journey with a quick 2-hour local flight from Johannesburg to George Airport. You can book flights on one of the local carriers. We chose Fly Safair on our outbound journey and Sem-Air on our return trip. It was a beautifully scenic flight, and before we knew it, we had landed in George Airport. George Airport is quite a small airport but very efficient, and we quickly collected our luggage and went off to collect our rental car, which we pre-booked. Now, a pro tip is, since this airport is small, I recommend that you book in advance, as sometimes they get fully booked out, and we learned this the hard way on our last visit to Knysna. Renting a car is preferable, as Knysna is about an hour's drive away from George Airport, and if you are going to Plettenberg Bay, it's another half hour. After a pleasant drive, we finally get to Knysna and arrive at our hotel that we booked for an overnight stay. We decided to stay at the Turbine Hotel. The Turbine Hotel is situated on Knysna Island, and you can get easy access to the afternoon boat cruises to go off and see the Knysna heads, and there are a few restaurants around with views that are really easy on the eyes. Let's get into some facts about the Turbine Hotel. The hotel was built upon an old power station and was transformed to a unique 5-star hotel, which is located on Knysna Island. The Knysna family moved from Norway to Knysna in 1870 and began processing timber on the islands. Wood waste from timber mills was used to start a power station which generated electricity from turbines, and this supplied the towns of Knysna and Plettenberg Bay. Fascinating stuff, right? I initially thought a lot of this was just props, but it turns out the equipment on site is restored and blends in with the hotel's contemporary decor. Amazing. This is actually our second visit. The first time around, we booked a suite for our honeymoon. Unfortunately, we don't have a video of that one, but this time around, we booked the standard room, and I must say, I was pretty impressed. Still get some pretty decent views, and if I must say, the most beautiful afternoon sunset from the balcony of the hotel. The standard room is still quite spacious, and since this is a 5-star hotel, we found it to be very comfortable. There are complimentary tea and coffee facilities, and if you do stay in the suite, there is a mini lounge and kitchen with crockery and a dishwasher. This particular room here had an area with a dressing table. My favorite thing about this room was the spectacular sunset on the balcony. There is a pool overlooking the lagoon, and this is quite deep and a bit cold, I must say, so we were not able to swim. As I mentioned before, this is walking distance to the restaurants and the boat cruises, which we were able to book for in the afternoon. We had traveled all this way, and by now we were really hungry, so our first mission was to find some food and relax. So after getting settled in our room and freshening up, we took a casual stroll and ventured out to find a lovely, scenic restaurant along the water. There are a few restaurants along Knysna Island. We decided on one which was a bit quieter and with a nice view. Now, if you don't already know, Knysna is the oyster capital of South Africa. So of course, no visit to Knysna is complete without a bit of bubbly and some oyster pairings. We ordered the Oyster Experience, which is your wild oysters, cultivated oysters and large oysters, which comes with a bit of sparkling wine. Fun fact, we are from South Africa, so of course we know this, but for our international audience, South Africa has some of the finest wines and bubbly in the world. We have traveled across many countries, and South Africa's food and wine are top class. So I've had the small oyster so far, the cultivated one. Now I'm having this is the small I've already had, and this is the medium, and this is the large. So now we're gonna have the medium. What's extra? After we had our lunch, we took in the views and decided to get a ticket for an afternoon cruise. Now don't do what we did and book at the last minute. We weren't sure of our plans, but then decided to book on Get Your Guide. You can get tickets at the port as well. It is this one back. Now, towards the afternoon, it doesn't matter what time of the year it is, it can get cold out on the water. So please do bring a jacket and something warm, as the winds get chilly and I was freezing out there. Regardless, it was amazing to hear the stories of Knysna and the locals. We went out to the Knysna Heads and the water was very choppy towards the afternoon. We enjoyed a beautiful sunset and made our way back to the ferry port. Overall, it's a unique way to experience the Knysna Heads. If you are visiting Knysna for the first time, my recommendation is that you check out the Knysna Heads from the Knysna Heads viewpoint, as that is a must-do. Our boat cruise had come to an end and we wanted to head out to explore a few places we had on our list. So we took a drive to a charming restaurant called Freshline Seafood. We tried this restaurant as it was a top-rated one on Google. As we are big on seafood, we couldn't miss this. The name of the restaurant is very deceiving, as it also comes up as Freshline Fisheries, and it sounds like a shop and not a restaurant. I was pleasantly surprised. The restaurant has such a cute, charming vibe, and it's got a beachy vibe with beach sand on the ground. I did feel a bit overdressed at this point. It actually felt quite romantic. Now onto the food. We ordered the fish of the day as well as the mussels and calamari with rice. Oh my word, this was the best calamari I've ever eaten in my life. The rice was divine. It was a spiced rice of some sort, and the sauce, it was drool-worthy in my opinion. Food was a 10 out of 10. If you're a seafood lover, really do not miss out on this one. Chef's kiss. Now on to another one on our list, which is a firm favorite of ours. It's called 34 South. We love the vibe. It has a little store where you can find some unique items, and my personal favorite is the bakery. This is where we had our late night dessert. We chose the apple crumble and it was yum. We also had the oyster and champagne pairing here. It was really great. I love this place. It's been my third time here. It's quite popular with visitors and the locals. Give this one a try as well. You won't regret it. I hope you enjoyed part 1 of our Knysna vlog. Stay tuned for part 2 coming up. If you enjoyed our content, please like and subscribe to our channel. Until next time, happy travels!